Hi friends, this is a final part of Tradesman-Electronics, KeralaPSC of category number 527 bar 2015 previous year questions and detailed solution. Up to question number 64, we discussed in the last 4 parts. Question number 65. In NPN transistors, the majority charge carriers are answer B. Electrons. NPN transistor is formed by sandwiching a thin layer of P-type semiconductor between two N-type semiconductors. Electrons are the carriers responsible for current flow. So, NPN transistors has electrons are the majority carriers because the emitter in NPN transistor is N-type. It has electrons as majority carriers which pass through the base to the collector side. In NPN transistors, the base is the P-type, hence the majority carrier in base is holes. In NPN transistors, the collector is N-type, hence the majority carrier in collector is electrons. This is the symbol of NPN transistor and this is structure of NPN transistor. PNP transistor. PNP transistor is formed by sandwiching a thin layer of N-type semiconductor between two P-type semiconductors. Holes are the carriers responsible for current flow. PNP transistor has holes are the majority carrier. This is a symbol and structure of PNP transistor. In PNP transistors, the base is N-type, hence the majority carrier in base is electrons. In PNP transistors, the collector is P-type, hence the majority carrier in collector is holes. 66. Dash diode is used in reverse biased condition for its normal working. Answer is option A, Zener. Zener diodes are semiconductor devices that allow current to flow in both directions but specialize in current flowing in reverse. Also known as breakdown diodes. Zener diode is a PN junction diode used in breakdown region by applying a voltage in the opposite direction to normal PN junction diode. This is a symbol of Zener diode. It has two terminals, anode and cathode. Zener diodes are heavily doped so that the depletion region formed will be very thin and electric field at the junction will be very high. Zener diodes are the most common electronic components used as stable voltage references for electronic circuits. This is a VI cara of Zener diode. Applications. It is used as a voltage stabilizer, protects from over voltage, clipping circuits. It protects the electricity meters from over voltage. In communication, it helps transmitting TV and FM signals, providing clear audio and video. Differences between Zener diode and PN junction diode. Zener diode allows the current to flow in both directions, which means that its current can flow forward as well as in reverse directions. PN junction diode allows current to pass only in one direction, which is a forward direction. Zener diode has high doping, while PN junction diode has low doping. A reversed current has no effect on a Zener diode. But in a PN junction diode, a reversed current damages its junction. Question number 67. An etchant used in PCB making is answer A, ferric chloride. The acidic method is usually used to etch off the inner layers of a rigid PCB. For this process, either cupric chloride or ferric chloride is used. Of the two solutions, cupric chloride is most common because it accurately etches off smaller features and provides a constant etch rate and continuous regeneration. Question number 68. The most common component used in ripple filter circuit is dash. Answer is option C, capacitor. Both inductive and capacitive filters can be used for ripple removal. However, capacitive filters are preferred because capacitors are more predictable in nature. Capacitors exhibit little resistive effect than inductors. Inductors have various losses associated with them, such as magnetic losses. Capacitors participate less in coupling effect with other components. Capacitors are less expensive. This is how the waveform after filtering has done. The input is the output from a full wave rectifier and this is the output after filtering. 69. Voltage dash is the voltage maximum reverse voltage that a diode can withstand. Answer is option A, peak inverse. The maximum voltage across a reverse bias diode is known as a peak inverse voltage. Rectifier and its PIV values. For half wave rectifier, the PIV value is Vm. For center tap rectifier, it is 2 Vm. For full wave bridge rectifier, the PIV is Vm. By heart this Vm values, PIV values. Question number 70. When two capacitors are connected in series, the effective capacitance is answer B, decreases. In series, the reciprocal of the equivalent capacitance is the algebraic sum of the reciprocal of the capacitances. That is 1 by C equivalent equal to 1 by C1 plus 1 by C2. That is C equivalent equal to C1 into C2 divided by C1 plus C2. When capacitors are connected in series, the total capacitance is less than any one of the series capacitors' individual capacitances. In parallel connection, the equivalent capacitance is the algebraic sum of all the capacitances. C equivalent equal to C1 plus C2. When 10 resistors each of 47 ohm are connected in parallel, the net resistance of the combination is dash ohms. Answer is option D, 4.7 ohms. When n identical resistors of having a resistance value of R ohms are connected in parallel, R parallel equal to R by n ohms. Where n identical resistors of having a resistance value of R ohms are connected in series, R series equal to n into R ohms. Given number of resistors n equal to 10 and value of resistor R equal to 47 ohm. Therefore, R parallel equal to 47 divided by 10 which we get a 4.7 ohm. 72. The quality factor Q of an ideal inductor is answer option D, infinity. Quality factor Q or coil Q factor is a dimensionless unit for the losses of a coil, quartz or a resonator. For coils, this refers to the ohmic losses of a coil wire. They are inversely proportional for the coil quality and are calculated from the ratio of reactance to ohmic resistance. The quality factor Q is also defined as a ratio of the resonant frequency to the bandwidth. That is Q equal to frequency divided by bandwidth. Q factor in RLC circuit, the ratio of resonance frequency to the difference of its neighboring frequency, so that their corresponding current is 1 by root 2 times of the peak value, is called Q factor of the circuit. Q equal to 1 by R into root L by C. Conditions for the large value of Q factor is value of LC should be large or value of R should be less. Here, capacitance of the purely inductive circuit is 0, that is C equal to 0. Therefore, Q equal to 1 by R into root of L by 0, which we get Q is equal to infinity. 73. Dash is not a variable resistor. Answer is option B, varactor. This is a symbol of varactor, which has two terminals, anode and cathode. And in the symbol it contains parallel plate capacitor identification. Varactor diode is a type of diode whose internal capacitances varies with respect to the reverse voltage. It also works in reverse bias condition and is a voltage dependent semiconductor device. Several names for varactor diodes are varicap, voltcap, voltage variable capacitance or tuning diode. 74. Insulation resistance can be measured using answer B, Megger. A Megger meter, also known as an insulation tester, is a type of an electrical test equipment which is used to measure insulation resistance. It applies a high voltage to the circuit and measures the amount of current that flows through the insulation. This helps to identify potential problems with the insulation, such as damage or degradation. Advantages of Megger. Its operation is simple. It uses a small DC generator, permanent magnet type. This is a circuit diagram of a Megger. It does not require an external power source like a battery or some wire to plug in. The cost of a Megger is also less. Physical damages can be identified with Megger, which may prevent electrical shock due to leakages. Disadvantages of Megger. The time required for measurement is more. The accuracy of this instrument is not high. Uses of Megger. Megger is used to measure an electrical wire's insulation resistance. It is used to evaluate electrical components and systems. Megger is also used for installing winding. They are used in the testing of battery, relay, ground connection and other tests. Megger is used as a Megger earth tester. Question number 75. Bistable multivibrator is also called as, answer is option D, flip-flop. Bistable multivibrator, in which the circuit is stable in either state, that is, bistable devices has two stable states. It can be flipped from one state to the other by an external trigger pulse. The circuit is also known as flip-flop or latch. What is free running multivibrator? An unstable multivibrator is such a circuit that is automatically switches between the two states continuously without the application of any external pulses for its operation. That is, it is unstable in any state. As this produces a continuous square wave output, it is called a free running multivibrator. Monostable multivibrators. Monostable multivibrators are also called one-shot or mono-shot multivibrators. There is a spelling mistake. It is one-shot or mono-shot multivibrators. They have one stable state and one monostable state, where a trigger, that is external signal, is required to enter the monostable state and return to the stable state. The circuit is primarily used as a timer, where the user will determine the response period. Next one is sinusoidal oscillator. An oscillator is an electronic circuit that produces a periodic signal. If the oscillator produces sinusoidal oscillations, it is called a sinusoidal oscillator. It converts the input energy from a DC source into an AC output energy of a periodic signal. This periodic signal will be having a specific frequency and amplitude. Question number 76. Colpitts oscillator uses dash feedback. Answer is option B, positive. The Colpitts oscillator consists of one inductor and a pair of tapped capacitors in the tank circuit and produces a 180-degree voltage phase shift in the feedback network. A capacitor with a center tap is used in the feedback system of the Colpitts oscillator. This is a circuit of Colpitts oscillator. Here we can see that the center tapped capacitor and one inductor. Colpitts oscillator frequency F equal to 1 by 2 pi root LC, where L is the inductance of the circuit and C is the equivalent capacitance of the circuit. Colpitts oscillator can be used as high frequency sine wave generator. This can be used as a temperature sensor with some associated circuitry. Mostly used as a local oscillator in radio receivers. It is also used as radio frequency. Note: type of oscillator and approximate frequency range. For crystal oscillator, the frequency range is fixed. For Weinberg's oscillator, the approximate frequency range is 1 Hz to 1 MHz. For phase shift oscillator, approximate frequency range is 1 Hz to 10 MHz. Hartley oscillator, the approximate frequency range is 10 kHz to 100 MHz. For Colpitts oscillator also, the approximate frequency range is 10 kHz to 100 MHz. 77. The binary number 1111 corresponds to dash hexadecimal number. Answer is option D, F. First, convert the binary to decimal number system. That is 1 into 2 raised to 3 plus 1 into 2 raised to 2 plus 1 into 2 raised to 1 plus 1 into 2 raised to 0. We get 8 plus 4 plus 2 plus 1 equal to 15. Second, convert the hexadecimal number system. Here we know the hexadecimal corresponding to 15 is F. Question number 78. The voltage regulation of an ideal regulator power supply is dash percentage. Answer is option D 0. Voltage regulator is used to regulate the voltage level. It generates fixed output voltage that remains constant for any changes in load conditions or input voltage. That is, it regulates or maintains a constant DC output voltage in spite of the fluctuations in AC input voltage or load current. Voltage regulation is a measure commonly used to describe the percentage voltage difference in between no load and full load voltage for electrical machines. Voltage regulation equal to V no load minus V full load divided by V full load into 100. The ideal voltage regulation for any machines should be 0. Zero voltage regulation indicates that there is no difference between its no load voltage and its full load voltage. This is not practically possible and is only valid theoretically for ideal machines. Therefore, the practical application, it should be low as possible for the proper operation of the electrical devices. 79. The input impedance of a JFET is high because answer is option B, its input is reverse biased. The high input impedance of JFET is due to the reason that the gate function is reverse biased and because there is no minority carrier contribution to the flow through the device. This is a symbol of JFET, N-type and P-type. The last question of this video is 80th one. Dash has no gate terminal. Answer is option D, diac. What is a diac? It is a diode that conducts electrical current only after its breakover voltage VBO has been reached. This is a symbol of diac. Diac stands for diode for alternating current. A diac is a device which has two electrodes and it is a member of the thyristor family. Diacs have no gate electrode. The advantages of a diac is that it can be turned on or off simply by reducing the voltage level below its avalanche breakdown voltage. Diacs are also known as a transistor without a base. Applications of diac. The main application of a diac is its use in a triac triggering circuit. It can be used in the lamp dimmer circuit. It is used in a heat control circuit and also used in the speed control of a universal motor. What is MOSFET? The metal oxide semiconductor field effect transistor is a type of FET most commonly fabricated by the controlled oxidation of silicon. It has an insulated gate, the voltage of which determines the conductivity of the device. Primary use is to control conductivity or how much electricity can flow between its source and drain terminals based on the amount of voltage applied to its terminals. This is the structure of MOSFET. Characteristics. It is a high input impedance device. It is controlled by voltage, unipolar 3-terminal device. Advantages. Ability to scale down in size. It is used to work at a greater efficiency but with a lower voltage value as it has no gate current. So due to this it gives a high input impedance which produces a high switching speed. Disadvantages. It is susceptible to damage due to its thin oxide layer which can get damaged because of electrostatic charges. It gets unstable when a voltage gets overloaded. Application. It is used as an inverter, used in digital circuits, used as passive elements like in an inductor, resistor and capacitor. High frequency amplifier, used in brushless DC motor drives, electronic DC relays, SMPS, used as a switch in and amplifying signals in an electronic devices. Triac. A bidirectional device accumulates signals traveling either direction through a single channel. Telephone lines are by operational requirements bidirectional. Triac allows the current in both directions and thus it is bidirectional. It has two main terminals and one gate. In triacs, there will be a single gate control. Conduction in both the direction. A triac is equivalent to two SCRs joined together in parallel. Triac available in high voltage ratings. Triac is a 5-layer device. This is a structure and symbol of triac. What is SCR? A silicon controlled rectifier is a three-terminal 4-layer semiconductor current controlling device. An SCR is made up of silicon because silicon has a small leakage current than germanium. This is the symbol of SCR and this is the structure of SCR. SCRs are mainly used in devices where the control of high power, possibly coupled with a high voltage, is demanded. Their operation makes them suitable for use in medium to high voltage AC power control applications such as lamp dimming, power regulators and motor controls.